Hi, I'm Benji Hardy. I've got your news headlines for the Arkansas Times for Tuesday, May 12th. The biggest item in the news today is the vote in Eureka Springs on Ordinance 2223. That's the non-discrimination measure to protect LGBTQ people from discrimination in the city of Eureka Springs. The early vote results are encouraging. The Carroll County clerk told me earlier today that 436 ballots had been cast in early voting. As Jay Barth wrote for us last night on the Arkansas blog, that's fairly remarkable turnout considering that in the midterm elections last November, only about 800 votes total were cast in Eureka, which is a very small town. It shows the extraordinarily high level of engagement around this issue on both sides. But high turnout is a good sign in Eureka, considering that low turnout helped to bring down a similar citywide ordinance in Fayetteville last fall. It's a progressive city, and the higher the turnout, probably the better the chances for the ordinance's survival. However, nothing is certain. The conservative groups that have been organizing against the ordinance have been active as well, and so we'll have to wait and see what the final tally is tonight. We'll be reporting back later. The county clerk says the vote should be tallied up by sometime late this evening. It's gotten far less attention than the vote in Eureka, but there's also a special election in parts of Pulaski County today that's on a millage increase to improve facilities in the Pulaski County Special School District. Quite significant. Facilities are one of the few remaining issues in the Pulaski County Special School District desegregation case that has to be resolved before the district can be released from federal court supervision. But voters in the district may be reluctant to approve a millage in part because, well, tax increase is always difficult to get voters to sign off on, but also there's a great uncertainty surrounding the future of the district itself. As you may recall, Jacksonville has broken off from the school district earlier this year, and Maumelle and Sherwood are considering forming districts of their own. So we'll have to wait and see on that as well. Yesterday, we brought you news that the governor had announced a special legislative session coming up on May 26th that will focus on an economic development project in Camden, Arkansas. We're still waiting to hear all the details on that, but rumors have also been circulating about possibly other items that could be added to the agenda of that special session. In particular, there's talk of moving up the presidential primary date for 2016 in Arkansas. There's been talk in several southern states of trying to coordinate their primary dates. It's been called an SEC primary in some quarters. The idea there is to sort of increase the regional influence of smaller states by coinciding their primaries on the same date. Finally, the husband of a state senator, Senator Cecile Bledsoe of Rogers, who chairs the Senate Public Health Committee, may be hired by the state health department as a consultant. Her husband, Dr. James Bledsoe, is a surgeon. He would be paid around $85,000 for the half-time job with the Department of Health. Their son, Dr. Greg Bledsoe, is already a state surgeon general and chair of the Governor's Advisory Council on Medicaid reform. Now, this bears mention in part because perks provided to legislative spouses have long been a controversial issue at the Capitol. For example, for many years there was the practice of using a so-called home expense account of up to $14,400 to give legislative spouses a little extra incentive to compensate for the low legislative pay. And legislators agreed to give up that perk this session in exchange for higher salaries. But anyway, because Bledsoe is the spouse of a legislator, the health department will have to ask a legislative committee to approve that hiring before it's finalized, and that committee will meet on Friday. Not to say that Dr. James Bledsoe is not qualified for the position, but when any legislative spouse is hired on to a well-compensated state position, it definitely bears watching. So that's something we'll be keeping an eye on as well. All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow for more news.